You
All right,
good
perfect.
with me?
Awesome.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to get this in. Let me just start this right here. All right, we're good to go. All right. You're now tuned into the First and 10 podcast. Welcome into the First and 10 podcast. I'm very, very pleased to be joined by someone that I've known for quite a long time. Obviously, with this pandemic going on, back, I had a chance to actually reconnect. But it was a Shaq Johnson, wide receiver for the BC Lions, a Brampton native, Toronto native, right? Very, very proud to have you on here, man. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the First and 10 podcast, man.
No, the pleasure's mine, man. Thank you, man. I appreciate you reaching out and actually having me on here. I was taking some of your videos and everything. I was wondering when you was gonna hit me up for real. I've been wondering, seeing all these podcasts with my boys on it. I'm just like, when they gonna hit me up, man?
Yeah, so of course, man. It's been on my mind for a while, so I'm glad to be actually have a chance to sit down and go through this. But yeah, I just have some questions. Once again, we're gonna get into like your journey, all right? When it comes to football, because once again, you're just a dog on the field. Like I've seen you just for a while. I had a chance to talk to Shamad Chambers, Natea J, other receivers that have been in the league, and they obviously love your game as well too. But I'm gonna take it back to like the start. All right. I've known you, of course, from Brampton Bulldogs. History, of course, from playing in Pee Wee, Bantam, whatever it may be. But before that, I didn't even know you were born in '93. I thought you were in '92 the entire time, right? So I remember being a dog back then, right? So when did your love for the game of football really cultivate? Was it from earlier years? I know you started a little bit later, but of course, like where did that come from? Where did the love for football come from?
It's so crazy because like when I sit down with me at HK, like HK, being my brother, Shaq Johnson, I play with. I be thinking back when I was like, we used to go to a football camp in Falstaff, to be honest, like back in summertime when we was probably, I want to say 10, 11, and then we would just have like games where we just play in the gym, and then sometimes it would just be football, right? And then like I would love playing football, but I didn't know nothing about the sport. You know what I mean? Nothing about it. So after that, I never really played it again other than playing it there. And then when I went into high school, I went to high school with one other friend that went to the same middle school as me. We went to the same high school. He was the only person I knew. And he was just like, yo, let's try out for football. And I looked at him crazy. I was like, football, I'm trying to do that. Yeah. He's like, man, it's something new, man. It's something new. Like, let's try it out, And
that's where it started.
So I just went on and did it. And then that's when I just went up there. I was running around. I was looking all crappy and everything. But I was just like, damn, this was fun. Like running around, running routes and like trying to stop dudes and everything like that. So I was like, yeah, I could rock with this sport. So it was fun. That's when they really started to build right there.
Yeah, you said in your track, why? But I'm going to get into that. But you said, get what you want. Don't wait for your dad actually told you that. When it comes to the game of football too, and getting to your evolution and just becoming from ND, I'll get into that in a second. But did your parents have a lot to do with that? Did your mom especially have a lot heavy influence on that as well?
They didn't really have too much to do with it, like going forward, like because they didn't know nothing about football. They were more like they watched basketball and knew about basketball. So so like football was really just me, you know what I mean? Like really like just me out of everybody in the family. I was the only one doing it. Nobody else really knew about football. So that was like me putting that line in there. Like my dad didn't expect it to be that, but he did tell me don't wait around for nothing. You got to go for it. You know what I mean? So once football just fell into my lap, like I was just pushing heavy for that, pushing heavy for that, So that's kind of where that line really come from.
It's crazy. I have a vivid memory pretty much from back when we were in Bulldogs together. I was a 91, but I was a late birthday, so I had still got to play with the young guys, especially you two.
Oh,
I remember you being young, always just being like, yo, I'm trying to get it. I'm trying to go off right now. I'm trying to go. Like coach put like let's get it. I'm like, yo, this guy's ready. And you were young from that time, so you always had that dog mentality.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah. So now going to ND, Notre Dame, of course, Brampton Bulldogs. A lot of guys played on that team. You have Bam. You have of course, Ian. There's Ian's. His son. You have everyone there. And it's a football environment as well, right? You're cultivating a football environment around different players that play at Aquinas and whatnot. But in ND, what did you learn most? I know in your senior year, you went off for 19 touchdowns at ND itself, but playing football in ND, when did you realize that you can actually have potential to actually, play professionally as well?
honestly, like being at ND, what really gave me that confidence and everything was like, believe it or not, like being back in grade 9 and like going up against like the Ashton Nelsons, like the Brownlee Kashamas, the Jabbar Westermans, you know what I mean? The Mitch Bliskarskis, like, you know what I mean? Like those guys, I was looking up to those guys, you know what I mean? So like once I really fell in love with the sport and seeing how good those guys were and like all the looks they were getting, I was just like, dang, like this is what can come from this if you really just, you know, really put your head to it and really just grind out and just get good. So for me, I would say once I hit grade 12 or grade 11, that's when I feel like I took going into grade 12 is when I took that next step, like in my athleticism and stuff like that. And I really felt like I could really do something with it.
That's crazy. Yeah, I remember. Once again, I do remember you in grade 10, but grade 12, of course, was a big jump, right? And then I see you with McGill. But going forward, you did credit a lot of your explosion and a lot of things that you kind of gained from that camp in Pittsburgh. You went to Pittsburgh Combine. What's with you and combines, man? You just tear up combine camp. I don't know what. Just go off. But going to Pittsburgh, seeing how the mentality is in the States with those younger guys, especially playing for like Ontario and whatnot. Do you learn anything from seeing how it is back like down south?
Yeah, man, I learned a lot going down there and just seeing like it really just built the confidence. You know what I mean? Coming out of grade 12 and going over there. I mean, going into grade 12, going over there and just playing against those guys and their blue chip recruits come around there. Like my first year, I really learned a lot because I wasn't really ready for it. I would be honest, like I definitely wasn't ready for it, but I was still holding my own and everything like that. But it was just like open the eye, like okay, this is the certain things you got to work on, getting better. So I would say the second year when I went after that, first year when I went, the second year I just really was just ready for it all the way around. That's why I just ended up destroying that camp at the Pittsburgh camp. I just started going crazy because I knew what to expect now. You know what I mean? I was ready for them. You know what I mean? So, and I always believed I could play with those guys at the end of the day, right? So that's how you got to believe in. That's how you got to think. So
of course,
yeah,
especially because I remember back in the day, like I playing quarterback, playing receiver, like I knew when I used to play with you, I'm like, this guy just has confidence, man. That's confidence. Like where does that come from? Like I do know, of course, you have 5 brothers, 2 sisters, 4 brothers, 2 sisters. Your background in a sense, like do you have?
Yeah.
What I was gonna say, just straight up, like with your family and just like how your dog mentality, just like trying to get it all the time. Like where does that come from?
Yeah, it really just come from like, it can kind of come from like having a big family, you know, and like just understanding like you didn't come from much and like not having a lot growing up, you know what I mean? You just really just got to get it, you know what I'm saying? But it also came with like my pops also telling me like you just got to have confidence in shit you do, you know? Oh, my bad, but in stuff you do, you know? You definitely got to have confidence going forward, no matter whatever you in. Like you gotta have that confidence. That confidence is just gonna take it to another level. Even if you don't feel like you're that great at that point, you gotta believe that you're gonna get to that point. And it's just about your work ethic after that.
Mm-hmm. So now taking it from Notre Dame, from Brampton, right? You're honestly you're repping Brampton so hard, and it's crazy. Like, I'm so glad I have you. I had Nate on, but of course he's from Saga, right? So having a Brampton,
Saga boy, yeah, he ain't no Brampton boy. He's Saga boy.
He's not a Brampton boy. I hope he listens to this. But now going from of course the camp, you're seeing people there and being recruited by McGill and going to Quebec now. Okay, so you're transitioning from Brampton, where there's a lot of comfortability, we're all comfortable with family, and going to Quebec. How was that transition for you, right? Like, how was that transition actually for you to be acclimated in Quebec, and get comfortable there? Like, once again, 61 receptions as a rookie, tore the rookie record, tore everything there. But how did you get mentally like ready to be there as well? That's what I'm trying to say.
Honestly, Brandon, I'll be dead ass with you, bro. I was just ready to play some football, man, because I was going through the whole I had to go get my grades right and stuff like that. So I was thinking I was gonna have to go into summer school the whole time, right? So I was under the impression I was gonna have to go to summer school, get another English course, and then go ahead. And going there, I just remember one day I was going into school to get my report card and get all that stuff, and they gave me my high school diploma as well. So I was like, oh snap, like I got my high school diploma, and Mickey Donovan was the one that really changed things for me. You know what I mean? Like, he gave me a call. I'll never forget this call. He called me in weight room class. I was in weight room class. My phone was just ringing. Mr. Preto was looking at me, and I was like, Coach, like, somebody's trying to get a hold of me. This phone won't keep ringing. You know what I mean? So I went out, stepped out, answered it, and then it was Coach Mickey, and we was chopping it up, and he was just like, are you going to get your high school diploma? I was like, yeah. And then he's like, well, we got a place here for you. Do you want to play football? And at this point, I was decommitted from Guelph, so I didn't know where I was going to go, if I was going to be in school to play football. So once he told me that, I was just like, hell yeah, I'm ready to play some football. So everything worked out for the best. So my mindset going into that, it was just like, man, I'm happy I'm about to be able to play some football. Everything else, I'll be able to just work with everything else from that.
That's perfect, man. That's a great story. And one thing, too, is even I had Chris Robertson, who's actually a strength conditioning coach on as well, too. And he said that playing at Concordia.
Yeah, I remember Chris.
Yeah, you know Chris, of course. But at McGill, being in RSEC, and of course, I know you came and played at Western as well, but the competition between being in Quebec and Ontario, would you say that it was more difficult or kind of prepared you for everything you had going forward by being in Quebec because you're playing with older men? Or do you think that, Ontario within the CIS and at the OUA was the same?
See, I think I was kind of like blessed in a sense, because when I first got into high school, I was playing straight senior ball. So I was playing with dudes that was already was ready to go into D1 football, CIS programs, and everything like that, right? So yeah, I wasn't playing or anything. I wasn't good in any sense, but I was already that field of playing against older competition always soon as I started playing football, right? So I would say going to the Quebec League, like, yeah, it's the circuit. Their talent is higher just because on the circumstances that, yeah, they get into university at an older age, right? So therefore they should be better. But I feel like just natural talent, just being out of, like, I feel like Ontario just really just got it, man. Like, we just got hidden talent, or guys don't stick with it, you know what I mean? And stuff like that, or get caught up in the whole school system and everything like that, you know what I mean? So therefore, like, Quebec dudes would definitely, the RCQ is definitely a great league in a sense, like,
Mm-hmm.
but
Cut out right now. Let's see if we come back in a second. Just cut out. You just cut out in a second. Leave me a second. Let's see. Yeah, here you go. I got you back. You just cut out for a second.
Oh, I just cut out for a second? Oh, okay.
Oh no, I got your answer right there. That's perfect, man. So just our RSEC obviously is very, very, very strong there, right? But
yeah.
Of course. And in McGill too, going and staying in Montreal, like, was there any coach or anyone that was like, yo, or any players that, yo, they took you under your wing and said, yo, you gotta bring us to, like, the promised land, in the sense, like, you're our leading receiver, you're wide out. No one really can check you right now. Like, was there anyone that brought you under your wing and kind of showed you the way in Montreal?
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, Coach Mickey and Coach Pat Bois as well. Like, you know what I mean? They was really key on, like, just keeping my head in there and understanding and letting me know, like, what I can do each game, you know what I mean? And keeping my confidence up, you know what I mean? Because I came in, I think I had my first two games, I didn't have a touchdown my first two games, the first, whatever it was. But I had like 50-something yards and everything. It was just like really just keeping me positive and motivated, you know what I mean? Stuff like that, just to stay in it, because we did play Laval the first game, and then I think we played we ended up playing Sherbrooke the next one and stuff like that. So two great programs right there. So
of course,
I was just kind of down on myself because I hold myself to a higher degree, and obviously coming off the season that I did in high school, you know what I mean? I wasn't really thin, but from there on, like, Coach Pat just started, like, getting the ball in my hands, and I just started feeling myself from there, and everything just started working out for me.
That's crazy. 61 receptions. Once again, the crazy stats: 18 receptions in one game. That's the most CIS history, tied for the most. That's crazy. And you have really, really set the bar high for a lot, and it's like, it's great, like a great that you were a great role model for a lot of these kids going forward. But I remember you saying too, for your second year, because you came back, you said in a 2017 article, family comes first. Football is not the end all be all. And of course, once you understand that, the doors open up, right? My mom had to be, I've been given a lot for a while. I want to give back. So when you said that, like, you came back to help your mother, like that takes a lot as well too, right? Family and family's a lot to you. So you say your mom going through all of that, that was a tough transition in your life, or is that something that kind of made you even stronger?
No, it definitely just made me stronger. You know what I mean? Because they say tough times don't last. Tough people do. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, like that's what I've been going through from when I was a kid. So I just know, like, now that I'm older, like I just know how to go about taking care of the people that I love. You know what I mean? And the people that are close to me. You know. So like just understanding what my mom and my pops went through and stuff like that. Just coming here from Jamaica and everything like that. It's only right that I can give back and help in any way I can, especially with the platform that I'm building.
Absolutely, man. You're doing a great job, and it's actually really commendable of you doing that. But now going from, of course, McGill to Western, you got to play in London. I know you played with the London Beefeaters for a bit too, toured up there, of course, at the CGFL. Playing in Western, playing in Ontario. We're playing with guys pretty much that you grew up with, in a sense, right? Torching them on a day-to-day, right?
Yeah.
How was that experience now coming back into football and doing all that?
It was cool. It was real cool and fun. You know what I mean? I was really excited just to come back on the scene because obviously I had that real good year over there in McGill. So I was just hyped to just come back and actually be able to play football again, because what people don't know that I didn't fail no course at McGill, right? So everybody thought I failed a course and everything. It's like, no, like it's when you have a prerequisite and you got to get a 60 for the prerequisite. I got like a 55, 57, whatever it was. So I had to take that course again. You feel me? So at the end of the day, like it ended up working out for me, but everybody thought I failed some stuff. I didn't fail anything. You know what I mean? But when getting into Western was just fun as heck because I got the appeal done, got accepted, I got approved through, and I got to go out there and really ball with them boys out there for the time period. You know what I mean? That was a little fun period right there. Hopefully, I was wishing that we could have brought the championship that year, but we had a lot of people banged up that year. That year was really banged up. So, but it was good times, man. Definitely good. Like G Marsh, like love the way G Marsh just coaches. You know what I mean? A lot of people feel like he's too aggressive, but no, that guy is perfect, man. Like that's exactly what you need, especially getting to this next level, right?
Absolutely.
Coaches will get on your ass.
Right. Of course, right? Of course, and he's a legendary coach for that same reason. He's done it for years and years. And now me as an educator, as a teacher, actually in Peel, you have to be the same way on the kids because once again, you need to be guided that way, right? So of course, you learn a lot from that right there. But
yeah,
now going from there at Western in London, getting drafted to the CFL, man, crazy. Getting drafted 4th round, going to BC Lions. Now you've gone to pretty much I would say the most prominent provinces in all of Canada. You've gone from Quebec, Ontario, of course, home, and now to BC. Describe that.
Yeah, that is true. Damn, I didn't even think of it like that, but yeah, that's true.
It's true. It really is, man. So now going from there, having like the tutelage and the guidance from guys from a young age, of course, and Brampton Bulldogs now, to university, and now going into the pros. And Wally Bueno, you have a great established, roster. Not only roster, but just a sense of a community in a sense, and just all that going forward. Now going to BC, how was that transition for you going from Montreal, Ontario, and then of course now BC? Were you excited? How did that all go, man?
I was actually kind of excited because people would ask me like if I had any team to choose, obviously what team would I choose, and I was like, honestly, I would like to go out to BC because it's a nice place. I never seen it. Everybody talks about it's on the West Coast, everything like that, but I didn't have any type of interview, any type of interaction or anything with BC going into the draft or after the draft. I mean going into the draft, sorry, and going into the draft and after the combine. Sorry about that.
It's all good.
So then I was just like, okay, then I don't think I'm gonna be, and I'm not gonna. I almost like just canceled them out of my mind for real. I was just like, all right, I don't think I'm going to BC at all. Mm-hmm. So it was kind of crazy when draft day came. They ended up calling 4th round. I was just like, holy crap, like I'm going to BC, you know? So that was dope. That was definitely dope getting drafted over here, and then just seeing just the different, like just the scenery, like the mountains and everything. Like every day I'd wake up and go to training camp, and I'm walking back from practice, our first practice, and I'm just like, bro, I'm really in the mountains right now. Like what the heck is going on? Like, you know, like really surreal. Like, so no, I'm just blessed and thankful to even just be drafted to BC, you know what I mean? Just be able to just enjoy the city and enjoy just the wildlife.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And even before, I wanted to even ask you this, like in the combine, once again, running like a 4.4 or it's 4.4. I've seen the conflicting reports. I mean,
yeah,
4.3?
They got the 4.39 on there.
4.39. There we go. To tell TSN they gotta recheck what they're saying, man.
Yeah,
4.3, of course, in the combine.
They be trying to keep me down. They be trying to keep it down.
Yeah, so with that happening, of course, to do that, you have the explosion when it comes to the broad jump as well. You're ranking like top in all of those categories. How do you prepare before that? Like, who prepared you? Were you in Ontario preparing for the combine? Like, man, I'm just saying, you in combines, you just go off with any combine you're in, man. Like, where does that start?
I was training with McGill University out in London. He got a gym, athletic fluency now, but when it just comes to combine, you know what I mean? It's just like, I think it just come with a mindset, like, cause my boy Jamal Cat, he like really told me, like, me and him shared rooms for the combine, and he was just telling me, he's like, man, like I really appreciate you because like I never actually seen this side of you, like just your mentality, the way you approach things, and like, cause I was just kind of giving him pointers just how I look at things and how I go about going to attack something, you know what I mean? So like that kind of really made me realize like okay, like I do got a different type of mindset when it comes to certain stuff, and I'm on the right track, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. So like it's just like humbling to just hear that, but it's also respect and just know that you on the right track type thing, you know? So like when it just comes to combines, you just get in. I just feel like it's just now it's you versus everybody else, you know what I mean? Everything you train for and you work for, like when you in the gym going hard, when you're on the field running them routes and you setting up everything, you know that person not working as hard as you. You know what I mean? You truly believe that deep down they not working as hard as you. Even though they might. Like you always give them the respect, but you always gonna pick yourself in every battle, right?
Absolutely. Like you said, you did numbers, beat the odds and remain humble, of course, right?
Remain humble, right?
I remember seeing that. That's definitely the mentality you got to have. But even getting drafted by BC, established culture. That's what I meant to say. Established culture in BC. You got the likes of Giroy Simon. You had Wally Bueno back then in 2016, 2017. Your grind going up. You even said, too, an article, you said that being on the practice roster gave you a positive mentality. Right, a mentality where you have to kind of fight for your spot and whatnot. Is that the same mentality that you keep to this day?
Heck yeah, man, definitely. You got to keep that mentality because at the end of the day, they got jobs too upstairs, right? You know, you got recruiters, you got American recruiters, you got Canadian recruiters, so they always looking for the next talent, stuff like that. Your spot is never safe. And I know being a 4th round pick, like, you know what I mean, anytime I try to, if I'm not on my game and I'm falling off my game, you know what I mean, you best believe they're gonna try to be looking for the next guy. You know what I mean? It's just a business, and that's how you got to understand it. And once you stop taking it personal and stuff like that, then that's when you really start prevailing. You know what I mean? Because you know what you got to handle. It ain't on anybody else. You know what I mean? Like Ed Hervey said it best when he came into his first year when he came into BC Lions. He's just like, straight up, like you don't need to be coming up to the upstairs and asking how you doing. You know what I mean? You truly know how you doing. You don't gotta ask nobody. You know what I mean? We watch film, we all do that. So it's just real. That's the type of mindset I have. You know what I mean? I've never been the one to go upstairs and ask somebody why I'm not playing. You know, so it's just you just have to attack the game with the mindset that okay, whatever I'm putting on this film is gonna be grade A. If not, damn near it. You know what I mean? So.
That's it. That's what you gotta have. That's crazy. One thing too, of course, you get it into as a national receiver, as a guy that's from Canada. Like a lot of the guys, I'm pretty sure some of the players were like, "You Canadian? You're really Canadian?" Like, do you find that was like, how was that going through as a national receiver, as one of the best national receivers in the league, and about to be even turn up even more? Do you find that your perception from your teammates were really surprised and that they kind of had to look at you a different way? How did that experience? How was that experience?
the experience, it's funny to me, to be honest. You know, it's just hilarious. Like, you just laugh at it. I just take it as it's flattering. You know what I mean? Like, it's great. It's actually it's a compliment. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, like, Americans are going to think that they're the better players and everything like that, because obviously their league is on a higher level, right? So they could feel that way, but at the end of the day, it's about how you gonna attack the game, like how you gonna bring it to the game. At the end of the day, they got to come over here and play in our game, right? So it's like, yes, they're 9 times out of 10 or 8 times out of 10, they might be more athletic, but at the end of the day, football is not about just strictly physicality. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If that was the case, then every American that come over here would stick. You know what I'm saying? Like, not every American comes over here and sticks. So at the end of the day, it's a difference. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be able to equip yourself to our game at the end of the day. You know. But like I said, I just take it as flattering at the end of the day, because it's like, what do you almost say to that? You know what I'm saying? It's like, what you you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's just like, yeah, I am Canadian.
Like,
yeah. Like, so
it's pretty crazy.
It's just like, I just use it to advantage sometimes when I'm on the field, because when I want to talk some smack too, I let them know too, like, you can't check a Canadian, man. Like, what's up? Like, you know?
You said that to him? Have you actually said that to a man before? Like, you can't, that's crazy.
Heck yeah, I said that to somebody on the
That's hilarious. I was just about to ask you what you did, because in the article you even said, like, I'm not the type of guy to talk, but if someone talks to me, I'm gonna back it up. I'm gonna go at them. Right?
Yeah, I'm gonna back it up and say something to them, man. They always want to start something and say it to me, you know. Defensive guys are always gonna try to start it and try to get you off your game. So, you know, I just like to talk back to let them know that you can't rattle this.
Of course, it's the mentality you gotta have. And a lot of young players too, young guys that will listen to this will say the same thing. Like, you have to, like, they're gonna take from what you're saying, because you made it, you're there, and you're actually becoming even better and better. So that's amazing. I do want to ask you this too. Being, of course, with your speed, your explosiveness, returning the football. Do you find that you love returning too? Because you've done it all. You've done DB, receiver, return at different levels of football in your life. Which one between DB and returning? Which one do you think you appreciate the most? You like the most?
DB, man.
Yeah, okay.
DB, man. Because a lot of people back home would tell you that DB was like my best position rather than receiver. You know what I mean? So, like, because when I went to the Pittsburgh camp, that's what they wanted me as. They wanted me as a corner.
Right.
So I was just like, damn. I was thinking about making that switch, but you know, in Canada they love speed, so you're gonna get real lost stuff off.
Yeah, of course.
Maybe in another universe I would have been playing DB, but that's where Hakeem's there for. Hakeem Johnson, take that over.
Hakeem Johnson, there we go. And your brother, especially, and having your brother there as well too, your younger brother, like that must be great for you. You guys must live together, everything's together, right? Especially in BC.
Yeah,
together, right?
Yeah, he in the room for real, chilling.
That's perfect. We probably have him on, another time too. But that's crazy, man. So now, like, you being in BC, G-Roy Simon, like a legend, right? Director of Global Operations there. Wally Guido. Did they have any words of encouragement for you coming in, especially a receiver? Do you bounce ideas off of him at all when you're there?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I just try to ask him like little things that he did when he was playing, and he would just try to drop knowledge on the things where I need to better, things that I need to focus on going forward. You know, like when I first got in, him and my old receiver coach, Coach Marcel, they both just kind of like just helped me just kind of like, you know, just kind of get into my own skin, like be calm in my own skin and everything, and just understand that they brought me there for a reason. You know what I mean? Like, they wouldn't have brought me there if they didn't like me. So just kind of just letting me know just things that don't be worrying about the whole flashy stuff of being in the CFL now. Like, just play football. You know what I mean? Like, just play football how you know how to play football. You have the athleticism and all that stuff. So, like, just listen in the meetings and just do what you're supposed to do. And just hearing that from, you know what I mean? Like for my personal feeling, I feel like he's the GOAT at receiver. So, like, at the end of the day, like, hearing that from him, you just really take that stuff in and just, you know, just understand, okay, like, I am meant to be here type thing, and just like, okay, what I got to do to better myself, and just stamp my name, stamp my foot in the door, you know?
I do think he's the go-to. So you're me and you are both in agreement with that. But with you, I remember you saying in 2017 as well in the training camp that we not even training camp, but you said like we really don't stop, and like we really treat it as though the game is 0-0, right? We're not stopping till the clock hits 0-0 at all. Having that mentality with this culture in BC, you guys have established right now. Going into this year as well too. Same mentality you have, like when it comes to it all, like you never give up mentality. Really credit that to you. That's amazing what you do, right? But is that how's your pregame routine? Are you actually, your mentality is to be like going and like getting out the mud? Like how is that every single day in the CFL as well?
You say for me, like going into each game, how my mentality is?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, like for me, each game, I just like, as the years go by, I would say like for the first couple of years, like I was really like, always jittery and stuff, and like, okay, we about to go into a game, hype and stuff like that, but I feel like for the last season, I really like focused on understanding my routines, understanding what I need to do each play, understanding all that type of stuff, like just breaking down my assignments, breaking down my rules, like understanding what my guy's going to do on this play, understanding, knowing when I'm getting the ball, when I'm not going to have the ball, so I can actually set somebody up and show something for another play coming down the line. Just little things like that, really playing the mind of the game,
Right.
Rather than trying to use the body as much, because now just getting into that point, I'm starting to understand the game. I'm starting to get used to the game speed, So now it's just understanding to just bring my mind up to speed and just be in the spots and slow everything down, right? Slow everything down. So each game I just understand my routine. I got my pre-game ritual. I go to the 27-yard line, or the 26-yard line. Go to the 26-yard line. Take a knee, do my prayer before my receiver routine with the rest of the guys. I go back in the locker room, listen to my 1-2 tracks that I feel like I need to listen to. Keep my head down. And I'm ready to ride.
Perfect. And is Akeem playing some music right now? He's playing some Dior. He's playing.
My roommate playing some music right now.
He's doing great. It's all good. With Mike Riley, Travis Lule, you play with some really established quarterbacks, right? What are you learning from these quarterbacks as well too? And of course, going with Mike Riley, like this guy, having you in the slot, having you a receiver. Like, what are the qualities and kind of the tips that he gives you on a day-to-day basis? Like, hey, I need you here. Like, do you learn a lot from these guys?
Heck yeah, man. It's just that different professionalism, like that, just that pro professionalism that you just really see, like how they take it each day, how they come into practice, how they come into the room, and how they are in the huddle, play to play. They remember in checks. They're just knowing the whole thing, They're looking out there. They see when a man's down the line. Like those things are going on, screaming, letting it be known, Like you just get like a real sense of with having like a guy like Lule and Mike Riley, it's just a sense of calmness. You just know everything's gonna be all right. It's crazy, like, and that's the way. Yeah, like it's just the way I could like explain it. You just know it's gonna be all right. Just having those two guys out there, those two credible pro style quarterbacks, like it's just crazy, man. And then the personalities just bring the most out of them too. On top of it, just real lovable guys in the locker room. Like you can't like guys that you could approach and talk about anything. You know what I'm saying? Like just cool things. You just because it's not everything just learning everything football, right? Just learning how they conduct themselves as pros. That's the type of stuff that I'm really learning from them. How they handle themselves, how to conduct themselves in public. You know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't got to be loud every time. You know what I mean? Like, like I really appreciate having those guys. Like, I'm really grateful to have those two guys as my quarterbacks. You know what I mean? And be able. I'm hoping I could get another year in with Mike. You know what I mean? So
see what thing is
going.
See they going, of course. And they put you everywhere. They put you in the slot, put you in receiver. For you in the slot, what is your favorite route to run? Because like, you're killing the corners when you put the right foot in and just return. It's virtually unstoppable from what I've seen, what I've observed. But and as a wideout, just blowing right past. Like what's your favorite route to run as a slot back and a receiver? Like, and which one do you like more too?
I would say from the slot, man, I would say it's either the post or the corner. You know what I mean? Or I would say the slot. I even like the out routes from the slot, like the deep out routes from the slot, So, but from that wide out, I like my double moves, of course, I like my dig routes from the outside. I like running my digs. I rock with the curls. I like running outs from the outside too, you know what I mean? Just really being able to set it up differently and stuff like that, show a different look. So
Definitely.
I like running bangs, like bang routes. I like bang routes too. Bang routes. I've gotten real good with being able to sell that slant route. So I like
being in the pros as well too. Your footwork has got so much better. I remember watching a bit of tape back in university. Now that the pros, I'm like, your footwork's crazy now, like really, really good. So I know you're working on that from a vantage point there, but different season, man. Different seasons, of course. You have all that, just all those breed, of course. But this year, like, what is your goal? You were the third most in receiving yards and, of course, in receiving receptions as a national receiver. Going forward, I really do believe. Like, do you really believe that going forward, you want to stay in BC, you want to continue and become the best national receiver in the league?
I do want to become the best national receiver in the league. You know what I mean? I definitely would love to finish my career out in BC. But obviously, you definitely don't know what's up with this league, you know what I mean, and this football stuff. So anything can ever happen, you know what I mean? So it would be a perfect story to finish my career in BC and become the best national receiver in the league, you know what I mean? Which I'm still working on. I feel like it's very, very attainable, and I'm hopefully trying to do that in the years to come. So hopefully we get back to getting some football going. But
Yeah.
I definitely believe I can do that, and I'm hoping that it can be in BC for the years to come, because I feel like we got a nice little tandem going on here with me, Lamar, and Javon Couture.
Absolutely. But why they trying? Why they lying? Man, go into music right now. Listen, go into music right now. You have more bangers coming out. And what does HIM stand for?
HIM, okay, so the reason why I came with HIM, because I feel like everybody call me Shaq, right? I got a name where Shaq is just basically, it's Shaq Johnson. Shaq is basically the nickname, right? So everybody calling me Shaq, but I didn't really want to bring the name Shaq, obviously, into the rap game or anything like that, to be honest. So I just wanted to I was just like, okay, I think I need to go with an acronym for real. So I'm just like, man, something got to make sense. So me and my boy was just playing around with him for real, and after I was just like, him, man, like, handled it myself for real, like, because I'm just thinking about my story, right? I'm thinking about my story and just how I came up for real. And I really, like, use my network. I use the people like around me that really love me, you know what I mean? And I love them for everything, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so like, I really handled it myself, like coming up really out the mud and stuff like that. So that's where it really comes from.
If out of all the acronyms, I would not guess that it was handled myself. That's crazy. It's amazing that you actually showed me. And a lot of our former, teammates and people we grew up with through football are becoming artists. Like, of course, we have Boswell, we have Jordan Crowe, a lot of people. But I do see you coming out with this single. It's definitely gonna go somewhere. But like, where do you see yourself going from here with music? Are you gonna continue are you gonna try to get a project, an EP, something? Like, what do you have coming forward?
Yeah, I'm working on the EP right now. I actually have like 5 or 6 songs done, to be honest, already. But I'm planning on getting more done. But I'm gonna come out with like a 6-7 song EP, just to kind of like introduce myself and let people know like and see how they like it. You know what I mean? I think they're gonna like it, to be honest. If they're getting if they like the way Y was and everything, I feel like I got a little more that's gonna catch their ear too, which they're not gonna expect. Because I feel like everybody's surprised, So I've always loved music, so it's just like about getting to it. And I feel like just growing up, just the way I was coming up, trying to get to football, you know what I mean? Doing the football and rapping, like, and I was in and out of school, like just the picture wasn't right. You feel me? So It's all about having a plan and having a, you know what I mean, and understand how you gonna get to it, right?
Absolutely. So you're preparing for the future in general. But once again, you got a fan of me, you got a fan of OXP. OXP's in the from push us out, so that'll be awesome. But yeah, man, I really appreciate you coming on, man. You want to give them your socials?
Oh man, hit me up on Instagram, Shaq_Johnson88, and then on Twitter, I am SRoy J.
SRoy J. There we go. Yeah. There you go. Shaq Johnson. Shaq, hey, I really know you're gonna tear it up this year. When we have football back, hopefully very, very soon, I want him to come out to BC and see y'all play.
Hey man, you good with tickets, man. Just hit me up and let me know, man.
Will do.
You good on that.
For sure. Brampton, honestly, keep repping Brampton, man. I really want to.
You already know, bro.
Of course, really appreciate you coming on. It's the First 10 podcast. Keep balling. All right, let me just pause this. Perfect. Awesome, man. Thanks for coming.